I'll be talking about these plants in a second. But there are two very important ideas I believe I need to work on. Will probably work on if I manage to get to Australia. Both of them have the potential of saving the world. One is seed balls or seed bombs, something like that. That is basically you have it's like a ball of substrate, soil, different combinations with a seed inside it. The other is underwater sea forests. Different types come in sea grasses and things like that. You go with them. So why both of these? Well, let's start with the first one, seed balls. Most afforestation is done with the traditional manner of planting trees, which is done by seedlings, and people have to manually dig up the soil and they have to plant the seedlings inside it. It takes time to grow the seedlings. Seedlings also cost a lot more, and it also takes time to plant them. And more workforce is required, and it's not exactly something that can easily be done, can easily be moved in larger quantities. That's where seed balls come in. So this is basically why grow plants. Why plant direct seedlings when you can plant seeds? Now, planting seeds might be taking some time, like covering them with substrate and watering them and all of that. That's where seed balls come in. Literally, just throw that out to the ground, and the plant will pop up from there. And based on the conditions of the weather, if it's the rainy season, or based on the condition of the place where you're planting it, you can alter the substrate. You can make it more suited for drier climates. You can make it more suitable for, also depending on the plant species you're trying to grow. Some might prefer a certain sort of soil mix, and you can use that to make the ball which covers the seed. And you can throw them via planes. You can throw them easily everywhere. It's a lot easier to cover a vast amount of areas and make these balls. You can work on machines that make them. This is a concept. I believe most reforestation is done by traditional manner of planting trees, and there is the risk that the tree might not grow, or who will take care of them, or things like that. I believe you get the margin of error with these seed balls because they are much cheaper to produce, and you can throw them in large number of quantities. You can repeat the process again and again. In Australia, what I would like to do with this idea is, I hope they don't start up anyhow. In Australia, what I would like to do with this idea is to research different types of seeds, different kinds of substrate, to which areas which seeds are more suitable, so we can sort of make work on a very adaptable plan. You have the highest chances of success. You cater the overall seed bowl to the specific area you're about to plant it, or you just make overall generalized ones. You make different ones, experiment with different types till you find the things with which you get more success, and then you work further on them, and different machines that can produce them, different ways of growing them. And I believe this overall seed balls can also be the research can be shared with other countries, third world countries, places like this, and this might be the key to saving the trees, the forest, as well as fixing climate change problems, floods, all of these things, by planting more trees. You got trees aimed at more economical benefits, trees aimed at flood prevention. Their root system increases the water carrying capacity of the soil by making it more porous, by increasing the spaces between the soil. So when floods happen, the soil can absorb more water as compared to earlier. Well, you can cater it in different methods. Why sea forests? Alright, the other idea. Well, first of all, Australia is the best place to try that. It already has lots of underwater sea forest growing, and the ocean produces around 80% of the world's oxygen, while also absorbing 30 to 50% of the carbon dioxide. Most of this is done by phytoplankton and seagrasses and plants like that. And there are large meadows of these along Australia's shoreline. The benefit seagrasses have and aquatic plants have over land plants are that they're easier to grow. You don't have the restrictions of space or change in water chemistry depending on the season you plant them in. And you also, I mean, there might be problems with acquiring the land on which you're going to plant the trees, alright, if you're going to do that on a massive scale. But I don't think there would be restrictions when it comes to working on aquatic plants. The ocean doesn't belong to, or there must be many places, shallow areas, places like that where you can work with these plants, and different plants are adapted to different aquatic environments, so you can work on that as well. And they absorb almost 30 times faster, they absorb CO2 30 times faster than land plants, and the ocean holds almost 20 times more carbon dioxide than the land and the air. So that's certainly, I think, 50 times more than the air. So that is certainly something to work on, and to work on a massive scale, because it might be difficult to carry out huge afforestation projects on land, but underwater in the ocean, which is already 3 times bigger than land, you can definitely come up with more genetically engineered plants or existing plants. Transplanting them into areas where they're more viable might help with restoring natural habitats that are losing due to perhaps coral bleaching or things like that, because the plants also bring in their own diversity of ecosystem that is based around them and things like that, and you plant them throughout the world, or at the very least Australia to begin with, and that might absorb more carbon dioxide or make up for the loss of trees that we're having on the surface. And these two, again, you can research different types of plants, different areas where they can be catered with. Overall, researching these projects, and these two, I believe, are very easy, first of all, compared to other methods like, I mean, why would you want to, clean energy or the targets of 50% clean energy? You can neutralize that by these projects instead of the costly ones where you're trying to introduce more electric cars into the market or things like that. I mean, that is certainly a good goal in the long term, but this might get you faster results, and you can continue to focus on that. You just won't be in that much of a rush. It's also it's cheaper, it's quicker, and it's easier than most other ideas that I have had so far in terms of handling climate related problems, and it should certainly be given a shot. And why